Yo, so what is good, everybody on YouTube? We are back today with a brand new video, and for today's video, we are going to be simulating the reunion of Kawhi Leonard with the Toronto Raptors. Obviously, we all know his historic run he went on in 2019 that had one of the most incredible shots in NBA history go down, and now he has returned to try and bring the city yet another championship. He is to get a 91 overall, and if I'm going to be honest with you, this team looks to be potentially one of the best defensive teams I've seen in my entire life. They have a lot of guys who are just absolute clampers, and Kawhi even is coming off of his best scoring season in his entire career, in which he managed to score just about 28 points per game, which is literally insane, especially when you consider the defensive side that you're also getting with a guy like him. And then you pair that with a guy like Scottie Barnes, who is one of the most elite defenders in the entire NBA. A guy like CMB, who has shown his defensive prowess, is super impressive as well. And even Quickly is pretty good, kind of at like the Tyrese Maxey type of defense where they're going to gamble on steals and actually get some. So this team is going to be super impressive. And even Jakob Poeltl has been a guy that we've seen go out there and get, a block and a half per game on average at times in his career. So they really have a super good defensive team from their perimeter all the way into their paint defense. And I'll even give a little bit of a shout out to a guy like Jamal Shead, because his defense is pretty impressive. I really liked what I saw out of him when he was with Houston, and I think he has some potential to be a really strong backup point guard defensively. I feel like the only real question mark you might run into about this team's success is going to be about the offensive side of the ball, and more importantly, shooting. They have some guys who can shoot, but there's not a lot of guys who specialize in it on this team. I would say Quickly is probably their best shooter that they have, him and Kawhi, but neither of them would I necessarily categorize as straight shooters. So as you can see what our rotations are looking like here, you see Quickly running the point, RJ starting at the 2, Kawhi at the 3, Scottie at the 4, and Jakob Poeltl playing the 5, CMB, Jacoby Walter, Jamal Shead coming off the bench alongside Zaire Williams and Jonathan Mogbo. So I'm pretty interested to see how this team fares here in year one, and if Kawhi can see the success that he once had with the Raptors in 2019. And we're about to find that out. We are going to end up simulating to the end of the regular season. So let's check it out. At the end of year one here, Victor Wembanyama ends up getting another MVP, because it feels like every time you do a sim in 2K, it's Wemby getting it. Rookie of the Year goes to Darren Peterson, and Clutch Player of the Year going to Giannis. Let's see if any of our guys made any of the All-NBA teams. I would expect some defensive team nods, but we actually get snubbed on both of them. I'll be interested to check out the stats on that, if it's just a situation where maybe our defense is so good overall that no single person kind of got the accolades for it. We end up as the number 1 seed out east with only 54 wins to get us the number 1 seed. But more importantly, let's hop into these player stats and find out what the tale of the tape is here. So Scottie Barnes led our charge in scoring with 17.8 points per game, alongside about 6 rebounds and 5.5 assists. Second in command scoring-wise was RJ Barrett, and Kawhi actually came in as the number 4 scorer on our team, so kind of the 4th option offensively. But it looks like we ran a very deep lineup, but more impressively, look at those steals numbers. We were able to have 4 guys average a steal per game or more, and honestly, we almost had 5, as RJ had 0.9 steals per game. With Kawhi, Scottie Barnes, CMB, and Emmanuel Quickly all showing out on that side of the ball for us. And looking at the team stats, we ended up being the 3rd lowest points allowed per game, so our defense has definitely been showing itself. I was surprised to see this Dallas Mavericks team have the best defense, because on paper they didn't look all that great, but it is what it is. In the first round here, we are going to be matched up against Donovan Mitchell, James Harden, and the Cleveland Cavaliers that came in as the number 8 seed. We go up 2 games early on them, we grab another, and we end up doing a little sweep action there, get the brooms out, 4-0. We knocked them off with ease. And also what's notable is our depth, as we went 11 deep in that playoff series. You don't see that all the time anymore, but it really means a great thing to the amount of depth that we have. And we were able to sweep in the first round thanks to that depth. And here in the second round, we find ourselves up against Caleb Wilson and the Bulls. And we end up going up 3-1 on them and grabbing the series in only 5 games, with Kawhi dropping 27, 7, and 4 to help get it done and advance us to the Eastern Conference Finals, where we're going to be playing against Cade Cunningham, who is at it, Domantas Sabonis at his center position. This is a little bit different of a look for the Pistons. They must have made some mid-season trade to get that one done. But let's see how we fare against them as we find ourselves up 1-0. They grab a game to tie it all up. It goes 2-1. We end up tying it back up at 2 apiece. And we find ourselves down 3-2 here, fellas. We are going to hop into Simcast and see what our Toronto Raptors can get done here. This is showtime, Kawhi. You were made for these big moments. We have seen it against Philly. We have seen it time and time again. And we end up taking that to keep ourselves alive, negating a 28-point game from Cade there. Our 11-man deep rotation was just too much blitzing their team. Their guys probably got tired. Cade's playing 42 minutes. We didn't have anyone play over 28 minutes, which is super impressive, especially in a closeout game. It's keeping the legs fresh. Here we go, Game 7. This is big time. Let's see what we can do here. It's tooth and nail here early on. As you can see, we end up slightly winning the first quarter. We lose the second quarter, so we are down going into the third. We come out with a dominant performance here in the third quarter. Fourth quarter, it is coming down to it. Hopping into a 1-point game here. We are up by 1. Winner takes all to the championship here. Cade disses it down low, but CMB and his amazing hands grab it, thinking he is primetime Odell, kicking it down. Jakob Poeltl slams it down to give us a 3-point lead. Defense leading to offense. That is our motto here in Toronto. Hopefully we can keep that going as Cade comes down. He is going to be looking for blood here as he kicks it down to Sabonis, who gets a nice tough bucket over the top of Jakob Poeltl, making it a 1-point game here with about a minute to go, guys. This is prime time. This is where champions are made. What can we do? Are our Toronto Raptors going to step up here in the clutch? Let's see what happens coming out of this timeout. Here we go. Scotty Barnes, inbounder, kicks it into Kawhi. This is the guy you want with the ball in your hands in the clutch. He kicks it down low to Emmanuel quickly. We got 15 on the shot clock here as he tries to break down Ausar Thompson. Not an easy guy to break down by any means. He tries to go with a little floater. It does not go. We are in need of our elite defense to step up here as Ausar Thompson has the ball top of the key. Kicks it over to Isaiah Joe, who's looking for a little screen, and he tries to pop it, but it does not go. I would not give that kid that shot 10 times out of 10. I'll tell you that much. Coming down the other side here, Kawhi tries to go down low. He is getting clamped up. He kicks it over to Scotty Barnes for the jumper, and who said Scotty Barnes can't shoot? Puts us back up 3 here with 20 seconds on the clock. Down 3, Pistons are going to be looking to answer here. Cade kicks it over to Isaiah Joe, and thank God Isaiah Joe is bricking, guys, because this could be an entirely different game if he's hitting these open threes. And from the looks of it here, this is all but over. As long as we can hit our free throws, they are sending Kawhi Leonard, Mr. Clutch himself, to the line here to potentially try and make this a 5-point ball game. Obviously, they were hoping for bricks. 12.9 on the shot clock here. Can Kawhi be as stoic as he is as his robot self and knock both of these down? Because he's basically AI at this point. Kawhi, let's see, first attempt. And bruh, this guy bricks the first free throw. We hate to see it. We need the second one, though. We cannot let this continue at a 3-point ball game, because Isaiah Joe's going to hit one at some point, you have to assume. Kawhi at the line for number 2. Come on, let's lock in, Kawhi. And he drains number 2, thankfully, making this a 4-point ball game. 12.9 on the clock. We need to make sure our defense steps up here. We cannot let a 3 be hit. They kick it to Ron Holland in the corner. Oh no, Robert Williams is working us down low. He gets it back up to Cade. Huge shot, and it does not go. Okay, thank goodness. The Pistons are getting dropped off here in the Eastern Conference Finals. It really came down to the wire, and if they had hit a couple more shots, that could have been scary, but I guess that our defense was enough to get it done. Kawhi Leonard advances from the Eastern Conference Finals for the first time since he absolutely gutted the Sixers in the second round. Obviously, I'm going to keep talking about it because it scarred me as an Embiid fan. But here we go. We are going to end up winning the Eastern Conference Finals. It's going to be interesting to see what the stats are looking like from this game and who ends up getting Eastern Conference Finals MVP here to move us into the NBA Championship. Scotty puts up 23, 6, and 4. RJ with a 20-piece and 26, 3, and 3 steals there from Kawhi. still getting it done. We love to see it. So I'm interested to see if Eastern Conference Finals MVP will go to Kawhi with a stat line like that, or it will actually go to Scotty, and bye-bye, Caden, your 46 piece. Wemby ends up getting it on the Western Conference side, and Scotty ends up getting it on the Eastern Conference side. Here, NBA Championship, time is now going up against Victor Wembanyama and the Spurs. I say you let all the pressure go on Tobias Harris. That would be my game plan. But here, we end up taking the first game. And again, we are still out here with this super deep rotation, heading us into game 2, where we end up dropping a game here. Devin Vassell dropping 26 to help get it done. And again, no one's going to really pop off the page with scoring for us, because how spread out our minutes really are here. So we are down 2-1 in the series here, so we definitely need this game, and we end up taking it, thankfully, to tie the series back up at 2 apiece here. And it's looking like it's really anybody's series to take here, as it's been super back and forth. We end up dropping a game here, so with Wemby dropping 38, 18 with 6 blocks there, they definitely get that one done, and we are kind of in a bad spot here with our back up against the wall. It is win or go home here, so of course we're going to hop into Simcast and see just how this one plays out. We need the top of our top defense here. We cannot have Wemby getting 8 blocks. I don't know who was just barreling at the rim over and over again that almost let him get a quadruple double that game. But it's coming down to it here. As you can see, it's a 2-point game here in the 4th quarter of a potential elimination game. As we let Champagnie drive for an and 1. Oh my gosh, we hate this. This could put them up here by 1 point with about 2 minutes and 20 seconds to go if he hits this free throw. So let's check it out. It is currently a tie game. Julian Champagnie at the line here, and he ends up making it, putting them up by 1 with 2 minutes and 23 seconds to go here. That was a horrible 3-point swing. Like, it's one thing to let up a 3, but an and 1 is really tragic. Kawhi going down low, and he cannot get it to go with about the foul line jumper. The Spurs are trying to come down and do something quick here. Stephon Castle slows it up with our defense on him like a dog. Coming off the screen, he gets an open shot, and he cannot get it to go. CMB grabs the rebound. The time is now. Put your foot on the pedal, fellas. CMB kicks it over to Kawhi, and Kawhi, bang! There we go. Big-time players make big-time shots. You love to see that. The Spurs are now the ones with their backs against the wall here. A minute 47 to go. You're down by 2 points here, and you're against one of the best defensive teams in the league. Stephon Castle driving down low, and a little pull-up jumper on the weakest link of our starting 5 defense. RJ lets him get a bucket to tie it all up. 1:30 left to go here. Raptors have the ball. Kawhi trying to find something. Kicks it to RJ, who kicks it right back to him. Coming off the screen. And yes, sir, a nice little layup. He gets it to go. Maybe a little contact there. Could have potentially even been an and 1. But it is what it is. Here we go. 2-point ball game. Spurs need to find a way to try and score on us. And again here, Stephon Castle is hunting and goes down low right on RJ Barrett, who gives up an easy bucket. It's a tough shot for Stephon Castle, but RJ needs to step up here. The rest of the team is all clamping. It is a tie ball game here, 1-11 apiece, and Kawhi cannot get it to go. This is getting spooky here. We are on the edge of our seat here. Stephon Castle, top of the key, trying to take RJ again. Thankfully, he kicks it this time, because I do not have trust in that. Julian Champagnie back to Stephon Castle, kicks it down low to Toby. I will absolutely live with the chances of him getting a bucket on Scotty, and I'm honestly surprised he got that one to go. But when it's on Scotty Barnes, I really had great confidence he was not going to get that one. We are down 2 here. 41 seconds to go. Kawhi Leonard, the time is now. He goes down low on a guard, and oh my gosh, he does not get it to go. We hate to see that. Devin Vassell played good enough defense to stop him there. Devin Vassell drives down low and pull up midi, making this a 4-point ball game and potentially putting this one out of reach. We need some big time shots here, or else we are indeed cooked, chat. Coming out of the timeout, right to the corner to Kawhi, and big time from that corner. It gives me Vietnam flashbacks, putting us down by 1 point here. It is now going to be a game of fouls, and hoping that some of these Spurs didn't go to their free throw shooting clinics recently. I'll tell you that much. And Stephon Castle at the line, and he hits the first, but he is only like a 72% free throw shooter, so I guess he's one of the guys you'd prefer to foul on this team. And he bricks the second one. We have some life here. I spoke it into existence. Scotty kicks it down to Kawhi. Kawhi 2-point ball game. 8 seconds on the clock. Kawhi, this is your time to shine. Can you get it done? He goes down low, and he cannot get it to go over Stephon Castle. You hate to see it. Puts us down 2 with 0.7 on the clock. Unless some type of miracle happens, it is not looking good. Champagny hits the first, and he bricks the second. Can you imagine if somehow Colin Murray Boyles actually ended up hitting that and it went in? That would be literally the most insane finish of all time. But your San Antonio Spurs end up taking it here in year 1, which obviously we hate to see. We are definitely hoping that the Raptors could take this one. Kawhi drops 26 points in the potential elimination game, and it just was not enough. And let's check out the other side and see how the Spurs ended up playing out, and it looks like Dylan Harper led the charge with 25 points there. Moving us into year 2 here, running it back. Kawhi down to an 88 overall. Quickly and RJ both sitting at 84, Scotty at an 89, and CMB is now starting at center at an 84 overall. Kind of giving the best progression so far of any of our young guys. Off the bench, you have Jacoby Walter and Jonathan Mobo as our 6th and 7th man. I'm interested to see if we'll run such a deep lineup, and it looks like we will, with Jamal Shed, Kyle Kuzma now on the team, and Jakob Poeltl, all getting some minutes here. So it's an interesting little squad we got going on, and again, we're running like an 11-man deep lineup. To end year 2 here, Jokic ends up getting MVP now with the Dallas Mavericks. If him and Cooper Flagg have teamed up, that is absolutely filthy, and I'm not sure how we'll stand a chance in all honesty. But checking out the All-NBA teams here, see if any of our guys made it. And you can see Giannis is on the Warriors. Yeah, this sim has definitely been strange so far, I can tell you that much. Third team, we do not see any of our guys. Defensive teams is where we are kind of hoping to see somebody, and it looks like yet again we're probably getting snubbed. You know, when you have 4 guys who are all really strong defenders and putting up great defensive stats, it makes it harder to single out one. Number 1 seed in the East was the Boston Celtics there, surprisingly, in their post-Jaylen Brown era. And checking out the stats here, as you can see, no one's going to jump off the page too much, but our defenders are still doing their thing. We have 4 guys all over 1 steal per game still, which is pretty impressive. As you can see, Kyle Kuzma has jumped onto the scene with a pretty impressive roll off the bench there with about 12.6 points per game. And he's actually scoring more per game than Kawhi at this point. And we have Andrew Nembhard too. So let's check out how we actually got some of these moves here, since obviously we let the AI do whatever it does. So checking out the Raptors here, we traded Jamal Shed and a first-round pick for Andrew Nembhard. I would not do that move at all. Andrew Nembhard looks okay, but it's just not a move I would ever choose to do. And then we traded Allen Graves to go get Isaiah Joe. I could see that to improve shooting on the team, especially considering it wasn't looking like Allen Graves was really cutting out a role here for himself. So I can understand that one a little bit more, but it is what it is. In the first round here, we are going to find ourselves matched up against the Chicago Bulls. But first, let's hop in really quick and see how we performed defensively as a team. And we're the number 1 defense at allowing points per game, only allowing 110 points per game to our opponents and in general, which is really, really impressive. In the first round here, we are up against Anthony Simons, Josh Giddey, OG Anunoby, and Caleb Wilson-led Chicago Bulls team here, and we end up taking them out very easily, 4-0, quickly leading the charge there. Moving us into the second round here, up against the Pistons, who we had a little bit of trouble with last time around, so we'll see if that happens again here. We end up 2-0 on them, we end up 3-0 up, and we end up taking it here in 5, as we end up taking it 4-1. RJ Barrett leading the charge there, 19, 7, and 4. And we still have an 11-man deep lineup, which now has Isaiah Joe in it as well. Andrew Nembhard, Kyle Kuzma. Our bench is definitely a little bit different than it was last season, so we'll see if that benefits us or hurts us. Eastern Conference Finals here, going up against our former guy in Jamal Shed. Like I said, I would not have made that trade personally, but that's what we chose to do. We go up a game here. It's all tied up at 1 apiece. We grab a game to go up 2-1. We grab another game to go up 3-1. And we make it to the NBA Championship yet again with Scotty dropping 26 and 6 there to get it done. Moving us into the NBA Championship here, and Scotty Barnes is your Eastern Conference Finals MVP. In the championship here, not an easy pool yet again. Last time it was the Spurs. This time we find ourselves up against SGA and the Thunder, and we are down 2-0. We grab a game 2-1 here. And bro, as much as I would love to have sweated it out, I accidentally hit simulate round instead of game when we were down 2-1 and we end up taking it. Scotty putting up 26 and 4 there to get finals MVP with a block and a half a game. I really do apologize for that. I would have loved to have been able to hop into the Simcast and sweat those games out like we were doing last season. But as you can see in the elimination game here, we came out hot and Scotty Barnes dropped a 30-piece. Jacoby Walter stepped up and dropped 26. And Andrew Nemhard actually had 18 as well, kind of putting my theory of not trading for him to rest, I guess, up against the Thunder as we win 140-113, and Kawhi goes back, returns to Toronto, and gets them an NBA championship. And afterwards, he decides to call it a career at 37 years old. That's all she wrote for Kawhi in the city of Toronto. What a year, though. Like, you get another NBA championship. You might not have gotten the Finals MVP, but what an impressive year nonetheless. He ends up getting inducted into the Hall of Fame there with only 962 games played. As you can see, he averaged about 26 and 3, 1.7 steals per game throughout his career, and two-time NBA champion with some really significant accolades in All-Stars, All-NBA teams, and all defensive teams. So we'll see if he ended up getting his number retired here by the Raptors, which I am interested to see. If you guys watched all the way through, I really do appreciate it. You guys mean the world to me and are why I love making these videos. If you have any videos you guys want to see going forward, leave it down in the comment section below. I read all comments, and you know, I'm always open to feedback, so if you guys have anything, let me know down below. Make sure to like if you've watched this all the way through, and drop a comment. And it looks like Toronto actually did not end up retiring Kawhi's number, which does blow my mind a little bit. And I figured, let's just check what this team's going to look like post-Kawhi, because it interested me, so maybe it'll interest you, because obviously they leveraged a lot of their future to go out and get Kawhi here. So let's see what this team would potentially look like here. And it definitely is yucky. Now they have Kuzma starting, but I hope you guys enjoyed this one, and thank you for watching. Peace out, boys.